I'm going to tell a million stories, and maybe one will hit home, and you'll be like, wow, that happened to me. And it's not about me. Well, it is. You know, television is a very, very crazy beast. I learned so much at Tyra. This is real emotion. This is something that I experienced.
I want the world to see what I have always seen, and that is the love that you have for just being yourself.
I love this person who knows who he is, who can make people laugh.
I think the script I gave you was a little bit different, but I'll take that.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm drinking at work because it's my show. I drink on my show. And speaking of cooking, so my niece Emma just turned 7, so I want to say happy birthday, Emma. I hope that her mom plays this for her if they're listening to it. She probably can't listen to the whole show because of cousin Angelo. But Emma, happy 7th birthday to you, and your uncle loves you. Even when I die, you'll be able to play this video forever. And so my sister approached me because my niece was turning 7, and she wanted, if you've never heard before, she wanted a Minecraft-themed party.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So I think you would definitely know, right, what Minecraft is.
Yeah.
Is there a real housewife involved?
So I never played the game at all whatsoever, but the game is, it doesn't have like high-end graphics.
No.
Everything is kind of digitized and it's very pixelated.
Yeah, it's got a very retro look to it.
Yeah, it's very pixelated. So there are characters within the game, and so my sister hired someone to make the cake. There, Desiree made these really great cookies.
Oh, nice.
That looked like the characters. They smelled amazing. I didn't get a chance to taste one because all the kids ate them. But I made Rice Krispies, and because my sister approached me and she said, "Hey, Dee, will you help and will you make, Minecraft-themed Rice Krispies?" To which, of course, obviously, I automatically said yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's never going to be a no. But then I thought about it, and I was like, I've never really made Minecraft-themed Rice Krispies. And so this is where, like, the bullshit of my father comes in, a.k.a. the creator. Because I just said yes, and I didn't even think twice about it. I thought, I'll be fine. And you know me, I super procrastinate. So I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And I was like, oh, God, the party's on Saturday. Okay, well, I'll go Wednesday or Thursday. I'll make the Rice Krispies, and I'll do this, I'll do that, and I'll figure out how I'm going to decorate them. Because up until that point, I didn't know how I was going to decorate them. Yeah. And I looked online, and I saw, people had, like, their own versions and stuff. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to be different. But, I still didn't know how I was going to decorate them. So I went into Michael's. You've been in Michael's, yes?
I have, yep.
Have you ever been to Michael's?
Yes.
For those of you that have never been into a Michael's, you probably live in Gaza. No, I'm just kidding. But for those of you who've never been to a Michael's, it's like, I'm gonna just say it. It's a community person's dream, right? If you are creative in any type of way at all whatsoever, or even if you're not creative, you could walk in there and there is like everything that you could possibly think of to make an art and a craft or a crochet, right?
You could be dazzled to death.
Yeah, and so I made the joke. I was walking through there, so like I got there and I was like, oh, I was in such a hurry, and I'm running around. And so I'm walking through the aisles and I'm like, oh my God, this is like overwhelming. And so I asked the lady, I'm like, where's like the bakery section? And she goes, oh, it's right over here, right? And it's just like, oh, right? It's this huge area. And there I stumbled upon sprinkles of every single color you could possibly think of. There was different types of like melting white chocolates. They had blue, they had yellow, orange, pink, every kind of color. And then of course, obviously, like you could, if you think about it, you could probably mix them to make other colors, right? So I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I ended up buying like over $300 worth of stuff.
Just for the party?
Just for the party, because my sister gave me a little budget. She gave me some money, right?
Okay.
I went well over that.
As you always
I went well over because I didn't know what I was going to do. And I said, I said, and this writes on frosting? And then there was gel food colors. I'm like, gel food colors? Oh my God. And so I kind of went crazy.
Yeah.
And so I went to the checkout and I was like, so if I don't use all this, can I return it? Because some of them were food items. And she said, oh yeah, you can, as long as it's not open, you can bring it back. And I was
Nice.
like, oh. So then I
Perfect.
felt better about my choices.
That's because you went and bought a resealer.
Another story we'll get into another time.
You're like, hold that thought. I'll be
I don't
back.
know what you're talking about.
Talk about corruption.
We-
You taught me what to do. You taught me how to do that. I was like, oh, yeah.
Well, that's not corruption, Louis. That's called budget friendly.
Call it whatever you want, D.
Budget friendly. So you know, again, I had all this stuff with me. Again, Mr. Procrastinator. 'Cause, you know, I'm busy. I'm doing my don't get paid at LA County thing. And then I was like trying to figure out. And so my mom came to stay with me.
Uh-huh.
And so my mom came to stay with me, and I had already made the Rice Krispies. I had cut them because even when you make them and you cut them, they have to kind of like dry and
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
You know, they'll always remain nice and chewy, but you know, and also too, I was going to individually wrap every single one of them.
You should have just gone to the pot shop and bought a whole bunch of Rice Krispies and decorated them with your
Those kids
glitter.
would be dead on the
gla-
floor.
Imagine. They would all on the pony, all falling off.
Mommy,
Why are they all drooling?
Hitting the pinata would turn into like a rage or something. Get out
Oh
of
my God! No,
control.
they'd all be passed out.
It'd be like a UCLA riot.
Oh, my God.
So you know, I still didn't know what I was gonna do. I started to make the Rice Krispies. I'm thinking about it, and then I started to get my ideas. And honestly, up until the moment that I began to decorate them, I still didn't know how they were gonna turn out, right? And I didn't want them to be like, you know, sometimes you see those cakes and it's like, oh, this is supposed to be Princess Elsa
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
And it just looks like the eyes over here and the forehead is like bulging. And you're like, oh my God, that's not the cake. That is like so awful.
acid.
Right? You've seen that before and you're like, oh, we paid all this money for this recreation of
It's a Picasso.
of a character. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, right? So I didn't want to be like that, and I didn't want to embarrass my sister, and I didn't want to embarrass my niece, and so I was like, oh my God, so much pressure. So my mom came over, and luckily my mom was helping me glue with white chocolate some of the details on, then she helped me bag all of them individually, right? So what it came out to be was, I'm going to show you. So these are the characters from Minecraft, right? And Louis will show you the characters from Minecraft as I move around. I don't know. Hopefully he has room there. And then these are the Rice Krispies that I made. So as you can see, there is like the grass, there is a dynamite, and then there is a character who's green. His name is Creeper. He's the Creeper, right? And so my mom helped me. I had to cut fondant into squares, and then we had to put it on top of the Rice Krispies.
Have you ever used fondant before?
No, I've never used fondant
First
before,
time,
ever.
huh?
First time.
Nice.
And so the thing with fondant is you're supposed to like, you know, roll it out. It's
yeah.
it's an ordeal. You roll it out, well, here's the thing.
Like pizza dough?
Kind
Or-
of.
It's
Okay.
But it's like
Or-
doughy.
but
or-
it's
okay,
sticky
yeah.
and it's like
Is it thin?
it's
No,
it's
it
like,
doesn't start off the thing.
It's it's like a thick. It's like Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the best
right.
to describe
Yep.
it. It's like
Yep.
Play-Doh, and then people roll it out, and then they cover cakes with it, right?
Yeah.
But I don't like sweet.
Yeah.
Like, I like sweets, but I don't want overly like
that sugar cookie sweet.
And
that
it is
takes it all
pure sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do a thin layer, right?
Pop those
of like,
kids up.
right? Oh God, you could man. So I dipped things in chocolate. I drizzled this. I took 3 different colored kinds of green sprinkles to create grass. Like in my mind, I was like, oh my God, you know, Picasso at that point. And so I ended up making all of them, and I took them out there, and I was laughing. My mom will repeat this story. She's like, why are you laughing? I'm like, I'm laughing because I laughed the entire time making these things.
You were drunk.
Well, I wish, right? My mom was there. I can't drink. And so I was...
Suddenly there's green splat all over the wall. And you don't know what happened.
No, so listen, so I was like, oh my God. I was like, holy crap. Like, these look really good. I was like, oh my God. Like, these are great. So I go to the party, and I bring all the Rice Krispies, and I put them out, and they're out there, and I had them in like, I bought from Amazon these like sealable bags.
Yeah.
They look super professional. They were like, oh my God. So everyone's eating them. They're like, oh my God, these are delicious. And my sister Rachel says, oh my God, Dee, she goes, these are delicious. And she goes, you should sell these. So I had the idea, and I'm like, I mean, I didn't have the idea, excuse me. The idea was presented to me.
Apparently they're all your ideas.
Yeah,
Yes,
right. They're all
yes.
my
Every
ideas.
idea is Daddy's idea.
And so she said to me, she goes, you should look online. So I looked online, And there was a lady selling Minecraft-themed Rice Krispies for $32 for a dozen.
Only for 12?
Only for 12.
Holy shit.
And I made I think I probably included shipping, but I mean, really, honestly, how heavy is it to ship a Rice Krispie?
Yeah.
I'm
So
just
you
saying.
made 10 for 300?
Yeah. So I made 80, almost, and made 76 or something, right?
You're grabbing them from the kids going, that's my profit. Give that back.
$35, please.
Yeah. Well, now that you've tempted us and teased us with how good these are, where are
Yeah,
these
where's
Rice
ours? I did ask you to
Krispies?
save me some. Did you
I
save
like
me any?
Minecraft.
Well, I will tell you that. there's
Louis,
different
tell me what that-
versions.
tell me what that is later.
Well, I will say this. I did bring some Rice Krispies to the
Yes.
Do It Like Danny show.
Well, I guess we took back all the other decorations.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't have enough for that.
Well, that's right. So I didn't want to decorate these, but then you're right. So I ended up taking back the decorations that I didn't use.
$280 worth.
Right? No, I ended up getting $70 back.
Oh, wow, nice.
So I only went over budget by $30. No big deal, right? It's all good. But I made them. My niece was happy, and these guys here, these are for you.
right.
Try these.
I'm going to decorate it later.
Another mukbang episode we have here.
Oh my God, mukbang.
Are these special Rice Krispies?
No, you wish.
Oh, yeah.
They're
no,
not.
we don't want to hear about
They're not
that.
filled with weed. But look at how yummy my Rice Krispies come out.
Oh,
They're so like
nice.
nice and
Yeah.
These are fucking good.
they really
Holy
are.
shit. I'm not even lying to you.
Oh, you lie all the time, too. What are you talking about?
They are good.
Wow.
And my blood sugar.
I'm not tasting freezer burn at all
I
from the
do.
butter.
Oh my god.
Well, that's actually very impressive.
Well, thank you. Excuse me. Yeah, we eat Rice Krispies.
I'm gonna eat this whole thing now. I don't care.
So that was my fun weekend the week before, and then this past weekend on Saturday, my cousin Angela, I worked with my don't pay me LA County person. I swam, and then I came home to take a little nap, and about 6 o'clock my phone was blowing up, and it was my cousin Angela.
In the morning?
No, this is at night, in the afternoon. No, this was in the afternoon and the evening. And so my cousin Angela was blowing up my phone, and I was like, what is going on? What's happening? I'm like, where am I? And she called me to tell me that she had an extra ticket to go to Culture Clash.
What's that?
Culture Clash is a trio of Latino comedians that perform and have been performing for over 40 years.
Oh, wow.
Over 40 years.
Oh, wow.
40 years. And so the reason why this is important and special to me is because my Auntie Susie in 1991 got tickets for, I think it was, they performed at the Los Angeles Theater Center, like the
I thought you were going to say your Auntie Susie got pregnant by one of them 40
Oh my
years.
God, no. You know, I think the reason why it was so special to Auntie Susie because, you know, she's fought for Latino rights or Chicano power for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
You and I have kind of heard like little mini stories.
Yeah.
We haven't heard a lot of it. We've only heard like Auntie Susie was wild in the streets, like protesting.
Yeah, she was a protester.
I don't
for
know if
many
my
years.
mom protested. I don't know if your dad protested.
I don't think so. No.
I don't know if Auntie Kathy took part in these also too. Excuse me. I don't know if Auntie Kathy took part in these too, but I don't want to like say something and it not be right, right? But my Auntie Susie was wild.
We should probably interview her one day.
We should
Have
interview
her
her.
on the show and make it like a
We
serious
should interview
episode.
all of them to get those stories.
Yeah.
Because when
But
I
think about the courage it took to being Mexican and really standing up for something.
Oh, yeah.
At that time frame, right? So how long are you talking about? How long ago was this? 20 years ago, 30 years ago?
So their troupe was founded in 1984.
Okay.
But they didn't actually hit the mainstream like their own play until 1991. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There were other plays in San Francisco, but to come to LA, it was 1991, and that was where I was exposed to it. So shit, how old was I in 91? Fuck.
22.
I
He was like 18.
Yeah, I was like 18,
Yeah.
right? I was like 17 or 18. So then we saw that. So then, God, how old was Ange? Because Ange saw it too.
Well, how old is she behind you right now?
Oh, God, that's a good, I don't know.
46, 45?
Is
This is your mom's sister? Or your mom?
No,
no,
that's
your mom's
that's
sister.
They're all brothers and sisters.
Yeah, that's my
Okay.
dad's side.
Oh,
Yeah.
your dad's side.
Yeah, our
Got
dad's
it.
side, Mom.
Got it.
Yeah, so apparently back in the day, Auntie Susie was wild in her protesting.
Yeah.
And, very similar to like when you marched for Black Lives Matter. So,
Yep.
again, happening in this country,
Yeah.
happening locally. And my Auntie Susie went and protested, just like you went locally.
Yes.
Something happening here in the United States, you protested
Yep.
to create change.
Yeah.
And,
And to support a friend.
correct. And also to the same thing of Auntie Susie to support La Raza.
Us.
Yeah, us in general.
Yep.
Because listen, all of this was Mexico at one point.
Yeah.
People go, let's kill California.
Not Montecito.
Well, listen, Chad, it was Mexico before it was anything else.
Bob and Jane. Stop.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen. So the troop is, there's three of them. It's Rick Salinas, Richard Montoya, and Herbert Segencia. And I may have said that and might pronounce that incorrectly, but anyways, so you'll see them because Louis will put them, as I say their names,
Yes.
Louis is going to put their photos. They actually had a TV series from 1993 to 1996.
They did?
Yeah. Right. So it's crazy because now I've kind of jumped around as I normally do. Shocking. Back when In Living Color was popular. Do you remember In Living Color?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this was the first Latino.
Oh, it was like a skit show?
It was a skit show.
Oh, wow.
So they had all sorts of different skits, like they would do stuff about cholos and
I
stuff
didn't
like.
know that.
Yeah,
I don't
so
remember
but
that
it
at
was
all.
done in the same theme as In Living Color. So those colors, it was like that, overalls, spray paint, kind of sort of like, opening credits and stuff like that. So like it went on for, listen, for a Latino, for back then,
Yeah.
I think would do really well now because everyone's like, oh, we have to be so diverse.
Now they include us. Now they give
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
shit.
now they give a shit because like, oh, we have to for ratings.
Can't just be housekeepers and
We want to be
gardeners.
diverse.
Even though we're some of the best, but I'll just put that out there.
I garden.
They aired on Fox. Channel 11 for us. I don't know wherever Fox aired it else over there. But then it went away. And so the reason why I'm bringing all this culmination is because I have grown up with them.
Yeah.
I've seen multiple plays by them. They had another one called Water and Power. They had another one about Chavez Ravine, which is Dodger Stadium.
That's
and
a big story
how
there, too.
The Raza was pushed out of the Dodger Stadium area to make room for Dodger Stadium.
Pushed out is nice. Forced out.
Yeah, forced
against
out.
their own will with only what they had on their backs. But I don't want to get into that.
No, that's
really
good
sad,
though,
yeah.
because that just the thing is that's part of this show also too is like different points of view, and we should talk about that. We
Yeah.
should we need a fact checker so we're not incorrect because I never want to be incorrect.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't want to be like, oh my god, CNN.
Throwing out.
Yeah, and so the thing is, people are like, oh, Dodger Stadium. Listen, Cholos, you love Dodger Stadium, but it threw your people out.
Do you know why that changed? Because they were against the Dodgers for many, many years. Do you know what changed that?
What changed it?
It was the pitcher. The famous pitcher.
Oh,
Why can't I think of his name now? I'm thinking of it.
Valenzuela.
Yes. Once they integrated him, they got the Mexican vote. That's why today.
Integrated, they probably hired him on fucking purpose. Holy shit.
It had nothing
See,
to do with him being a great baseball player.
I watched a huge thing about that because he's such a big. He was
Fernando
such a, yeah.
Valenzuela.
And everybody loved him at that time during the 80s, I think
Yeah.
it was, when he first showed up. He was worldwide from
yeah.
the West Coast to the East Coast. Oh, we love Valenzuela. Everybody
Well, he
loved
was
him.
as
I
big as a
didn't know
Tom
that.
Brady.
I did
Yeah, he was
not
loved
know
by
that.
America. It was wild.
So when the Dodgers grabbed him, then the Hispanic
stirred.
people were like, "Oh wow,
Not weird.
no, that's smart. That's smart. That's branding. That's advertising, and we do it today. I mean,
But we have
It's-
very few real Latino cultural icons that we can latch on to.
Just George
Maybe-
Lopez, and even that one I kind of don't like latching
that's not
onto.
I got about
No,
I
it's
mean,
not.
George Lopez,
George
it
Lopez,
got to
yeah.
his head. You know what I mean? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
What's his? Who's the one that sings "To All the Girls I've Loved Before"? Who's that guy? What's his
Julio
name? Julio
Iglesias?
Iglesias.
Well, maybe not. Maybe maybe there are more now. But Mexicans are kind of like in this weird gray area because
Yeah, they have Latinx. They have Latin O.
Nobody
P,
collects Latinx, though.
Generation X, whatever bullshit they have
Yeah.
going on. We're all Latino. It's the same thing as the homos. Everybody wants to be, a fucking letter LGBTQIA LMNOP. You're all queer.
Yeah.
You're all queer.
They
You're
all
an
land
innie or
on
an
the same
outie.
flag.
Thank you. And-
so Kat sent me something the other day.
wait,
that-
hold on,
oh,
because I want to finish with why we even brought this up, Culture Clash,
Culture
right?
Clash, yeah.
So, cause that's my fault. I started going off on a different
No, no.
tangent. So I wanted I wanted to recognize them in the show because there were a lot of people there at the show, and the reason why my cousin invited me, it was the 40th anniversary of them being, out and about, Latino, and they were hilarious. They were so funny, but it was interesting because now they're older
Yeah.
and they have kids and they're married. It was just really it was interesting, and there were a lot of Latino stars there. Edward James Olmos was there.
Nice.
Also, too, what's his name? Oh my God, this is so bad. We need fact checker. The guy that does Cholo Fit.
Oh, I love
Oh
that
God,
dude.
what is his name? I don't want to read it for him. If you look up Cholo Fit,
I love Cholo Fit. You don't know him?
Have you ever seen Cholo Fit?
I don't know.
Oh,
if
you
I
have
it's
to.
so
Okay.
funny.
Yeah.
So
He's
yeah.
got his own show too on
He
FX.
does. He
yeah.
does. I don't know why they didn't come back with a season 2.
No, they did.
They did.
Yeah.
Oh, they did. I didn't know
Yeah.
season 2 came
Yeah,
out
season
already.
2. I don't know if they did a season 3, but I know for a fact they did 2.
So Cholo Fit is this comedian, Latino, who he comes out and he does this, Cholo kind of like workout. He's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh.
look at your hyenas. And he goes, this
It's
is the
so
Cholo
good. It's
squat.
so good.
He's like, yeah, you're fuerte. He's like, la raza. And it's so funny. So if you have an opportunity, you should definitely go take a look and see what he does, because it's very similar to what Culture Clash has done. Culture Clash, what I've always appreciated about Culture Clash is the fact that they really do walk a thin line of, representing Latinos and then also bringing to light the social injustices that have happened to Latinos and that are currently happening in the world right now. They did a
Yeah.
whole skit with Trump, and it was hilarious. So they've always walked that thin line, and they, not that they don't care about offending people, but could it be offensive to the current people nowadays? Absolutely. But fuck them. You know what I mean? Like, you have to laugh.
Yeah.
You have to figure out a way to bring comedy back into our living rooms without having to sit there and be like, "Do we use the right pronoun?" Oh my God! Like, who's just gonna offend? It's not a fuck you way. Like, I don't care who I offend, but it's more like we just need to laugh more.
Yeah.
We don't laugh enough.
Oh, yeah.
I think people are so caught up with like, oh, if I say, "How's your dog?" are they gonna think because they're Asian that I mean? Like, there's just too much thought about it. You know what I mean? There's too much. There's just too much.
Yeah.
So anyway, so thank you, cousin Angela, for inviting me. I almost didn't go last moment. Truth be told, I almost didn't because I was like, oh my God, I'm so tired.
Where were they? Where did they perform?
They performed at CSUN at the
wow.
Soraya.
Okay.
Yeah, and
That's
so
a great
actually,
venue.
oh, it's a great venue,
Yeah.
and it
No
obviously
protesting.
it like mimics the
protesting.
Disney concert hall. But the sound's amazing, and I've seen a couple of things there with my cousin Angela also before. And they do have a lot of stuff that's coming up that will be celebrating Latino heritage. And there actually is at the
Go ahead, just finish.
CSUN library, there's a whole section of Culture Clash, and it has everything there.
Oh, wow.
Everything that they've ever done. You can watch videos. You can go visit it. There's awards there. There's everything. They created a section for them.
That's cool.
So I thought that was kind of cool also, too. There was a moment, I will say this, there was a moment going back to Gaza. So they were handing out these awards called the Dirty Jalapeno.
That'd be funny if that's what they're
They
actually called.
were handing out these awards called the Golden Jalapeno. Oh my God, the Dirty Jalapeno, the Golden Jalapeno, and he had made a joke and he said, "Oh, these awards, they had to go to HR for a couple of weeks, but now they're cleared." And he was making jokes about the jalapeno, and so they invited this. They were inviting different people up, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I mentioned before, Edward James almost was there. He was a recipient. All these different Latino people. Another group that performed called Azatlan Warriors. They were like a rap group, and they sang a song, and they came out. Then another lady came out. Oh my God, I feel so bad. I don't know her name, and she was playing. They sang like mariachis.
Oh, nice.
So it was like a star-studded event in terms of the Latino culture,
Yeah.
like, you know, people dancing, people celebrating, and then intermixed with that was like little bits of their skits that they had done over the years. But going back to the Golden Jalapeno. So, you know, they're giving out these awards, and I didn't notice at the time, but my cousin Angela, she's like, that lady was sitting in front of us. And so she went up to the podium and she began to speak. And apparently she was at UCLA during the riots.
For Gaza?
Yeah, for Gaza. Yeah, so she was there and she was protesting, and I'm going to figure that she must have been like a Latino mix of something, because she looked Latino, but she also looked part, you know, like she could be from somewhere else. Also,
Like Selma Hayek kind of?
yeah, like Egyptian. Like
from
she's got this
Lebanon?
beautiful color, and she's so. Anyways, like I don't want to like watch her. She's like, I'm white.
Got blonde hair, blue eyes. I don't know.
So anyway, so she's going on and on and on. In the beginning, people were like, yeah. She's like, I'm here for Latino power. And people were cheering, and they were like, yeah. But then, as she kind of went further into her, like, pro-Palestinian speech, the clapping got a little more sparse. And people were like, it wasn't, you know, listen, while although they were mainly Latino in the crowd, there was also a lot of Caucasians. And so they weren't really clapping.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Know your audience.
Yeah, know your audience. And she kind of kept going for a minute, and I think she realized when people were kind of not like on board and clapping, she just
Yeah,
kinda,
when you're on that soapbox alone, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
ooh, shit.
so she ended it, and then she came back, and then when she sat back in front of us, Ange was like, that's her. And we're like, get her.
I would have moved.
Some people left.
Oh, yeah.
There was a man that said, I'm going to wait outside.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So we were like, oh, God. I didn't realize it was
It's
that
not
serious.
that serious.
It was apparently was that
Some
serious.
people are so dramatic nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah. Like me.
Just the wrong venue for that.
Yeah, the wrong venue.
Yeah, also, I mean, you were there for Latinos. You weren't there for Gaza. I'm sorry.
And although they were recognizing her, because I think that's part of culture clash, is like the joke was they wanted to be inclusive of everybody, even though it is Latino. You know, they, like I said, they walked that thin line. They did a really great skit about Donald Trump being in prison, and it was really funny.
If I Google them, will I find videos? I'm sure.
Oh,
on
yeah.
YouTube.
You definitely will.
Their show. I'm gonna
Yeah,
check
and
it
we should
out.
probably go to CSUN and go take a look. They do perform often. You know, I had remembered that they were performing a while ago, but I just didn't get a ticket, and it just turned out that my cousin Ange, she always takes care of me. I always like am in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, but that's because you took care of everybody else. So you have to understand that it goes hand in hand. But that, again, I don't want to go off topic, but you have to
Yeah.
understand that.
I know, I don't look at it that way, but yes, thank you for everyone that's helped me right now. Since LA County is still not paying me, even as this whole thing is being shot, guess what? I still haven't gotten paid, okay? Thank you, LA County.
I'm going to divert my Hurricane Daniel recovery funds.
The GoFundMe?
And the GoFundMe. I'm going to divert you. Save Daniel. The destruction that was left behind.
We are setting up a GoFundMe for Angelo's umbrella. As you can see, this is footage of me having a bitch fit as I break. It wasn't the wind that tore it down, it was me. I had enough of Angelo's changing everything and then wanting to change the lighting, and it wasn't working. So I lashed out, and in a moment of rage,
Poor umbrella.
in my fit of rage, I snapped something as insensitive as an umbrella.
Well, it was either Louis' head or maybe it was Louis' other leg.
I did have to dodge the chair that he threw at me. It was all right.
Or the umbrella, so we sacrificed the umbrella. Funny, it was a gentle breeze yesterday.
You should
in
just
Montecito.
remember never to fuck with me.
Are those notes I hear?
Yes. At least I'm not standing. And with that, we hope you all have a great and amazing week, and always to remember to do it like Danny.
Bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Oh yeah, I forgot. And with that, remember, like, share, subscribe, and always do it like Danny.
Bye.
Cheers.